Hey everybody, it's People's Politician. But today I'm just, you all know me as Sam Rangel, and just want to take a few moments to share my thoughts and feelings on what's taking place in our country right now. First, I would like to say that what happened to Mr. Floyd was inexcusable and straight up murder without a doubt. And quite frankly, I don't see how anyone can see it in any other way. Um, Now, I can be honest with myself and say it's taken me a few days to digest all and take in all the reactions and unrest that this has caused everyone. That is until I recalled my own personal initial reaction when I first saw the video. When I first saw the video, I was surprised about with the amount of PTSD that resurfaced in me from my own experience as law enforcement. It was like I was reliving them emotions all over again, and the feelings of anger and hurt and disgust were just as strong and just as real as if it were happening to me all over again. And understanding PTSD, I knew that avoidance is one of the ways that I cope with it. That's when it hit me. That's when I had a light bulb moment and began to understand how my black community feels. And I thought to myself, I'm literally seeing generations and generations of PTSD and secondary trauma being played out right before my eyes. And now I have to say something because it's important that we try to grow from this. And there's many symptoms to PTSD, to trauma and secondary trauma, and then one of them is emotional distress. And when emotional distress is triggered, it'll often manifest itself as aggression, as reckless behavior, or even destructive behavior. So think about it. Here you've got not just one triggering event, but multiple consecutive triggering events from Aubrey to Taylor to Floyd that literally ignited generations upon generations upon generations of trauma. And now, unfortunately, we're seeing our children trying desperately to deal with the secondary trauma that's taking place and that they're experiencing, and they don't know how to deal with it. I know from my own personal experience, it takes years and years to even begin to develop coping skills to deal with it. So, to me, it's no wonder why we're seeing all the violence and the acting out, all the destructive behavior, because our system has failed. And again, it has burdened this burden of racial injustice onto this generation, and they're being asked to deal with this emotional distress now. Now, whether or not you see the reaction as right or wrong, it's their trauma, it's their reality, and it's our responsibility as human beings to treat the problem of racial injustice. Otherwise, people will just focus on the behaviors, and that's what I think we're seeing now. And I'm not a civil rights expert, and I don't ever claim to be. However, I've been in the helping field going on 2 decades, and I've been extremely blessed and extremely blessed. I mean, extremely blessed to be around some awesome individuals in my community, like a Mr. Huddleston, like a Napoleon Washington, and the Dwight Amy's of the world. And let me tell you, they weren't only active one day and or even 1 month out of the year, but they were active all year round. And it's funny because I remember one of these great leaders calling everyone Doc, and I truly believe it was because he knew that each one of us had the ability to be the medicine for this world, that each one of us had the ability to develop a plan to treat the problem of racial injustice, and that each one of us had the ability to go the distance and not just run sprints. Again, let me put it in a different perspective so that it maybe can help you understand. As a parent, uh, as a guardian, as an adult, we don't ever want our children to experience any of our personal traumas that we went through in life, whether it's domestic violence or whether it was drug abuse. But if it happens, it's devastating, and we as parents, we hurt, we get angry, maybe some of us even get violent. So imagine, look at it through that lens. Imagine generations and generations upon generations of trauma being passed down, and we're asking our young children to deal with it. Hmm. I don't know. I'm just sharing my thoughts, and hopefully somebody will hear and appreciate this perspective. Thank you.